And we're back, folks, for our next research review and office coffee talk. And we have coffee this time.
Yeah.
Well, he has coffee this time. He's one of those crazy human beings that can metabolize coffee in a very different way that I can and take advantage of that. So anyways, we're back. So today we are talking about something that has probably been circulating a lot in the media in terms of its benefits, especially in these crazy COVID times. And we're excited about this one. So I am going to throw this over to Dan on the what and ask him, why he chose this one. So Dan, what are we looking at today?
Today we're looking at vitamin D. The reason specifically we're looking at vitamin D is literally, when was it, like Tuesday? Mm-hmm. Tuesday, one of our members in our little
Days don't exist in the YouTube, by the way, in social media.
Yeah. A couple of days ago.
This is in perpetuity forever. So.
Okay, a couple of days ago, one of our members mentioned that she was vitamin D deficient, and then another one mentioned they were, and we were like, okay, well, if that's what they're talking about, we should bring it up and kind of give you guys a little bit of information about vitamin D and what it does and what it can be used for and how do you get it, all that kind of stuff. So found this pretty cool little study from our friends at PN who kind of helped us put this together from the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition. And it kind of breaks down vitamin D, what's it all about, basically, right? So vitamin D is basically, you get it in two kind of real key ways, vitamin D3 and vitamin D2, right? And we class those as like vitamins, right? But once it gets into you, it's a steroid hormone, basically, okay? And it just helps with a whole bunch of stuff. Now, just want to kind of caveat, it's been associated to help with this stuff. It's not a definitive link. It's not like, I take vitamin D, so I'm not going to get type 1 diabetes. It's not that clear cut. It's associated with these things. So vitamin D, it's been shown to help with everything from acute infections, musculoskeletal disorders, type 1 and type 2 diabetes, cancer, dementia, autism, cancer, by the way, except for skin cancer, obviously, dementia, autism, and cardiovascular disease. So it's been associated with helping kind of diminish those things or helping prevent them, okay? But just once again, it's an association. So if you're taking a vitamin D or you're getting enough vitamin D, you're probably helping reduce your chance of getting these things, okay? So that's kind of one of the key things to really kind of talk about there. Now, if you are vitamin D efficient, you're getting enough, and you take more vitamin D, there's been nothing showing that that's a good thing. That's going to boost you up a level. Like, that doesn't happen. So if you're getting enough vitamin D and that's good, you don't need to take more. How do you know you're getting enough vitamin D? Go get a blood test. It's the easiest way. Don't guess. I mean, you can, and we can probably say in Hong Kong, MTR to flat to indoor air cons, and super hot in the summer. It's probably not enough, but don't guess. Go get a blood test. That's the easiest way. In Hong Kong, Life Hub, just around the corner from our studio, they do a great job. It's a relatively inexpensive test, and they can get that sorted out for you. Is there somewhere in the States that you know?
US is going to be usually Quest Diagnostics. I think it's Diagnostic or Diagnostics.
It will come up
Plural,
on Google.
one of them. Yeah, but usually in your local area, you're going to have an area where you can go get a quick blood draw and then get the results emailed to you within a few days.
Okay, so obviously if you live in like the northern kind of hemisphere part of the world where sometimes there's no sunlight at all, right? It's just dark all the time. Or it's light all the time, which would be awesome, actually.
Yeah.
But if it's dark all the time, obviously you're not going to get as much sunlight, but you're not going to get as much vitamin D. If you're a fairer skin, you're going to get more. If you've got darker pigmentation, you're not going to get as much. So you've got to be kind of taking these factors into account when you're talking about your vitamin D levels, your vitamin D deficiencies or efficiencies. Now, how much should we be getting? Like, that's kind of the real question, right? Like, how much is too much or whatever it is, okay? So you want to be getting around 800 to 1,000 IUs per day. Now, if you don't know what that is, then you should go back to school. Okay, it's terrible. No, I'm kidding.
Savage.
Yeah. We'll put up a little thing that will kind of help you guys break down, but of course, go get the blood test. That's the easiest way to figure it out. So what does that actually mean? So it means that if you are of fairer skin, that's about 20 to 30 minutes outside in the sunlight per day. Ideally with like minimal clothing, but obviously be aware there might be other people around.
What about sunscreen?
Sunscreen? From what this is said, this doesn't mention, it says no sunscreen.
Yeah, it should be minimal to
so
no, right?
Minimal clothing and no sunscreen. Now, obviously, if you are of the darker pigmentation, then you're gonna need a little bit longer outside in the sun, just because of the way the skin works physically. But that should give you a kind of good ballpark. Like if you're worried, if you are vitamin D deficient, if you're worried about it, go get a blood test. But if you kind of just want to kind of get it anyway, 10 to 20 minutes outside with no sunscreen, that's kind of the best way to go about it. And that is the best for humans, by the way, in terms of like, oh, I'm eating it in my food, so it's okay. The sun is the best for humans. Like there's nothing that's going to beat that really. And yeah, that's kind of the main key takeaways.
Okay.
What we
in let's just say again, for you mentioned people like in different hemispheres of the world who are getting either too much or maybe too little. Let's talk specifically about the people that are getting too little.
Okay.
What are some of the foods that you can recommend that they can consume or start incorporating in their diet slowly?
Yeah. So
for
of course,
vitamin D.
Yeah. So if you are in those hemispheres in the world, or even like maybe Hong Kong or some of these bigger cities where you're going into undergrounds and you're never really getting outside, some of the foods you could look at are like oily, rich fish like salmon, mackerel, trout, sardines, herrings.
Salmon. Yep.
Those are all really good. Eggs and cheese, which you can get everywhere in the world. Fortified dairy and non-dairy milks as well. That's pretty cool. Okay. And specifically UV exposed mushrooms.
Okay.
So they're
like fungus.
Yeah, it's mushrooms that are exposed to UV lights. Their level of vitamin D increases. Yeah.
Mushrooms are incredible.
So if you can find those, go for those as well. That's cool. But I'm not sure everyone's going to find those.
Yeah,
I don't know. Have you seen those?
No. I'm really interested in what kind of mushrooms those would be. We'll check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
drop it in the link. We'll drop it in the information.
We'll add that in.
Okay.
I feel like they're going to look different as well. I don't know why.
Probably.
In my head, I just feel like they're like umbrellas or something.
Yeah, mushrooms are fascinating, but okay, interesting.
And anyway, other fortified foods like some cereals and stuff like that.
Okay.
They'll also have higher vitamin D levels, which will help you if you're in those parts of the world, or you're deficient, or your color of your pigmentation of your skin.
What? Just a random question, and maybe you know this, and maybe you don't, and I don't know if this is within our scope of the research review, but what would you suggest? I mean, like, are we suggesting that people are to walk outside of their offices, go to the park, go to the water, look in the general direction of the sun and just cook their eyes for 20 minutes? Or are you what would you suggest? Or do they need to just get in the sun, expose the skin, the eyes? What do you think?
Oh. Okay, so I mean, I think generally I don't know about looking directly in the sun, like obviously eyes, and I don't know much about that. I think people don't get outside enough already. Sure. Anyway, people on their phones, Netflix, computers, we're not outside enough already.
So we're getting the wrong kind of light, basically.
Yeah.
Or we're getting one luminescence, one hue of light.
Yeah, only. Exactly, right? And I think also, getting outside has been associated with so many health benefits. Yeah. And you talk about like mental health, just exercise, moving more, getting outside does all that stuff as well, right? Breaks up your day, also sunlight with your circadian rhythms. So I think there's more things to promote getting outside more than there is to don't get out there.
Oh, we hear it from our members all the time, right? When the people that train outdoors with us,
how
they feel, they may hate it during the workout, but then after, they love it.
Yeah. But I think it's also important to mention on here that we're not saying go in 6 hours just cooking. Don't go and do that, right?
Right.
But I think going outside more, whether that's the lunchtime, whether that's the morning, whether that's as the sun's setting, at least it's still sunlight in some way. Yeah. And I think also, there's also benefits to looking long distance, right? That's been known to calm the mind as well and stuff like that. So I think in Hong Kong, it's only going to help, right? It's only going to help. Like buildings are on your face all day, you're inside all day, go get outside, go look somewhere else. I think that's going to help. Okay. I want to also add that have you seen Idiot Abroad?
Yes.
Do you know the one where he does he gets the energy through the whites of his eyes? If you don't know about that, go look, because it's a really cool episode. But I don't know if that has anything to do as well, but that could be cool. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. What are your thoughts, man?
You know what sun gazers are? So sun gazers, basically, it's a tribe of people, or it's a subset of the population that believes that they can derive all the nutrition and nourishment and sustenance a human needs by basically grounding, standing in the earth, literally maybe in sand at a beach or something like that, and looking in the direction of the sun, and maybe not looking at the sun at full brightness, but maybe at sunrise, capturing the sun with your eyes as long as you can until it becomes, intolerable. Then they close their eyes and they will continue looking in the direction of the sun. I don't know enough about it, but apparently some people there's a huge sort of tribe of people that believe that this is all we need as human beings, and then there's others that say that you'll die. So I don't know. But anyways, that's why
I think that's that Carl Pilkins. That's the Idiot Abroad. I think that's what he's doing.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right.
Anyway,
those are my thoughts. Anyways, okay. So, any last minute thoughts here or recommendations for everybody? Maybe just a quick 3-point recap.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So, first of all, go get your blood test. If you're not sure whether you're deficient or efficient, is efficient the right word as well?
Deficient.
And then if you've got enough, you're efficient. Is that? I feel like it's
sure.
Yeah. Okay. We'll use that anyway. Yeah. Go get your blood test. If you're not sure, you don't want to be guessing. I mean, you could, but just go. It's relatively cheap. Quest Diagnostics or Diagnostic, and Life Hub just around the corner from PF Studio. Those are going to give you relatively cheap. It's going to be easy to do, and then the guy who's done the test with you it's just going to flag up. You're going to know straight away. You don't have to play any guessing games.
Yeah.
For humans, the best way is sunlight, 20 to 30 minutes per day. If you're a fair skin, if you're a little bit darker skin, then you need to go out for a little bit longer. If you can't get that because of where you live or your lifestyle, whatever it is, salmon, oily fish, eggs and cheese, fortified dairies, that kind of thing is going to help as well. And the final thing is that not everyone needs it. Remember, if you are getting enough, taking more is not going to help. It's just going to do nothing. You're just going to probably pee it out. So if you're good, chill. There's no need to take it. And hopefully that helps with vitamin D.
Great. Well, thanks, Dan. All right, so that wraps it up for this week's Coffee Office Talk. If you have any other suggestions or any other topics or anything maybe sprung to mind during this one, let us know. Let us know in the comments. If you're a part of the community here in Hong Kong, let their coaches know, and we will absolutely take it into consideration and look at the different research reviews to bring you the next hot episode here at Precision Fitness. All right, well, thanks again, and we'll see you for the next episode.